Shalom, everybody. Rob Van Hoff here with TelosTorah, and I have a live stream I just recorded on the Rob on the Rock channel about this week's Torah portion about Noah, covering Genesis 6 through 11. Here, I'm just going to do a shorter video, so be sure to check that one out. But if you want to just hear some Hebrew, I'm going to go through the Hebrew here of a wonderful passage, Genesis 8:20 through 9 verse 1. So this is after the flood here, and we're just going to spend some time reading some Hebrew together. So it says, Vayven Noach mizbeach la'Adonai, and Noah built the clean animals, mikol ha'of hatahor, and from all the clean birds. Vaya'al olot bamizbeach, and he offered burnt offerings. Olot, and what that means, and olah just means it goes up. The picture is that the smoke rises and it's completely consumed. So these are animals which in the world God calls clean. They're called clean. It's not a category that Noah invented. It's a category that God invented. And they're clean. And he's offering them to God as completely burnt up. So Noah doesn't take away any benefit materially from this worship. Verse 21. Vayarach Adonai et reach hanichoach, and the Lord smelled the reach hanichoach, the pleasing aroma. He smelled the pleasing aroma. So there was worship being offered in purity and truth, and it had a reach nichoach, it had a pleasing aroma, and God smelled the pleasing aroma. So Noah's worship was acceptable to God. Not only that, it's not that God smelled a pleasing aroma, it's he smelled the pleasing aroma. Et reich hanichoach. That means God received Noah's worship as real, completely. Isn't that beautiful? And Vayomer Adonai el libo, lo osif lekalel od et ha'adama ba'avur ha'adam. And the Lord said in his own heart, I will not again, lo osif lekalel, I will not again curse. And the word od means again here. Lo osif lekalel od, I will not again curse. Curse what? Et ha'adama, the land, ba'avur ha'adam, because of mankind. Ki yetzer lev ha'adam ra mine'urav, because the inclination of the heart of mankind, evil from his youth. Velo osif od, and I will not again, paralleling the earlier phrase, lehakot et kol chai ka'asher asiti, to smite all living, all life, which I have done. Od kol yemei haaretz. And so od, we see the word od, I think od here spelled fully in verse 21. And again in verse 21, od spelled fully. Here we'd say it's chaser. It's spelled defectively in defectively meaning it just lacks the vav. It still has a holm. Same word. Od kol yemei haaretz. For as long as all the days of the earth, kol yemei haaretz, zera v'katzir. That means seed and harvest. Ve'kor v'chom, cold and heat. Ve'kayetz v'choref, that's summer and winter. Ve'yom v'layla, and day and night. Lo yishbotu, will not, it's the root for Sabbath, They will not Shabbat. They will not cease. So he's not talking, this is another use of the verb to cease. We see that in, Genesis 2, for example. The Lord ceased, called the day Shabbat. So it's the same verb, to cease. But here he's not talking about the cycle of work, of a work week. He's talking about large flow between opposite situations, day and night, the seasons, summer and winter, temperatures. So we're constrained by times of sowing and reaping. So it reminds me of Ecclesiastes 3. There is a time for sowing, a time for reaping, right? Same here, that there's this weaving between these types of times. Sowing, reaping, cold, heat, summer, winter. So length of days, day and night. Lo yishbotu, they will not cease. And then our last verse here will be 9, verse 1. Vayivarech Elohim et Noach. And Elohim blessed Noah. Ve'et banav. So, Vayivarech Elohim et Noach ve'et banav. He blessed Noah and his sons. Remember, we learned already that Noah found chen in the eyes of the Lord. He found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And he was a tzaddik, it says, and he was tamim. This is back in chapter 6, verse 9. And what we learn is that he is grounded in grace. Like Paul says in Romans 5, he stands in grace. And he enjoys righteousness. He enjoys being blameless, but those are fruits of his love for God and his desire to walk with God, because it tells us plainly that he walked with God. So Noah received this blessing from God. Not only Noah, but the blessing extended to his children. Vayomer lahem peru urvu umilu et haaretz. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. So here we have it's a kind of new creation. It's a picture of a new creation after the flood, but still the sin problem of the human heart at this point has not been resolved. It's going to be resolved at a future point. But now, in this time in the Torah's telling of the accounts of the world, sin, dealing with the problem of the human heart is still future in terms of how we understand God's righteousness. How can God not treat Noah according to the sin problem? Why did Noah not get wiped out with everybody else? It's because of what we call chen, grace. Like God told Moses, I will show grace to whom I will show grace. It is his sovereign choice. It is his sovereign gift that which he bestows at his own discretion. So God treats Noah not according to Noah's sin, because Noah has come to God and knows the problem of the human heart and has confessed his sin unto the Lord. And he understands he's forgiven by God's grace. That, my friends, is the core theology that we all need to just memorize and get it in our bones. The beauty of God's grace, and how the story of Noah and how his acceptable worship was framed not by his own invented religion, not by traditions of men, but by the category of purity, which God defines, not us, not ourselves. All right, Shalom, everybody. If you would like, you could see a video I made on similar video, but in some looking at some other details from the Torah portion on my Rob on the Rock channel. All right, shalom.